trying to find you all on my iPad. Here we go. Right, lovely. Morning everybody, welcome to my Monday morning Facebook Live. A little bit more stamping from me today. Nice bright day today here, and I'm going to carry on where I left off last night. Well done girls. Morning, I'm actually on live. Well done Bev. Morning to you Sue, morning to you Anne. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to carry on where I left off last night. I'm just going to grab the cards that I made because I felt like I was on a roll. I'm going to be using a celebration stamp set for you today. We've got just 1 week left, final 7 days of celebration. Can't believe it's almost over. It's been an amazing celebration. So many lovely products, and you can still earn yours for free until the end of February. So I will make a start. I'll flip my camera around so you can see my desk, and we will see what we make. Okay, 2 seconds. Okay, lovely blank piece of grid paper to start our day. So I'm going to be using this stamp set, A Touch of Ink, which is free when you spend £90 here in the UK. It's a beautiful photopolymer stamp set. You've got 2 sheets of images. Some of mine are on blocks already. So it's made up of beautiful outlines that are all hand drawn, and then you have these gorgeous infill stamps that have texture kind of built into them already. So I first inked this up yesterday and I am hooked, as I'm sure you're not surprised. These are the cards I made last night during my Sunday night Facebook Live. Thank you to everyone who joined me for that. I wanted to show you a couple of different styles with this card, with this stamp set. So this one here, I have stamped in Memento onto white card, and then I've coloured those in with stamping blends to get that real vibrant look. And then for this one here, I've gone in a complete different direction with lots of subtle colours, and I've stamped in Sahara Sand, and then I've used these infill stamps to fill in those outlines. So I've used Petal Pink here for this one and Sahara Sand, and that is stamped, the infill is stamped with Sahara Sand as well. It's just been stamped off onto my grid paper first to get that 2 different tones of that colour. And then I changed my sentiment afterwards. I wasn't happy with what I did, so I've changed it to just a real simple black and white sentiment, and then inside is that little bit of detail there. Okay, so today I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction again, and I'm going to use some vellum. So this stamp set really reminds me of a stamp set we used to have many years ago called Remarkable You, and I absolutely loved that stamp set. So I'm going to do something a little bit similar to what I did many years ago, and we're going to use this vellum. And lots of people say to me, how do you use vellum? How, you know, I don't really see how I can add it to my project. So there's lots of different ways you can use vellum, and we're going to stamp onto this, or we're going to heat emboss it anyway. So let's bring in our Versamark. We want an embossing buddy, and we want some white embossing powder and my heat tool, of course. Right, so here, first of all, I'm just going to take any static off of this vellum with my embossing buddy. Okay, and then using my leaf stamp, I'm going to stamp onto this vellum. You need to be quite quick when you're working with Versamark, because you don't want it to lose its stickiness. So I'm doing this in kind of 2 different sections. So we'll do the top first, and then we'll do the bottom. So I'm going to add my embossing powder, tap off the excess, and then we're going to heat this. And I really, really love this look. show you what that now looks like. So that is really, really elegant. And then we will stamp the other part. Hold on to the other end. Okay. Close my embossing powder before I spill it. And let's stamp the rest of that. Have a quick check of the comments. Baz, you put, just wanted to say thank you, I've got my stamp set back. Oh good, and thank you for the lovely card. You're very welcome, lovely. I'm glad it's got back to you. It took a while, didn't it? And morning, I've remembered. Hello Anne, I hope you're feeling a bit better, my darling. I've been thinking about you. Still in pain and uncomfortable. Oh bless you. I hope that your Nurse Bernard is treating you well. Is looking after you well. There we have it. So that is our beautiful vellum that's now been embossed with that white pattern. Now if we bring this in and put it on our card, how amazing is that? I think that's so pretty. And it even looks nice over white as well. So you get that real elegant look with your vellum. So it comes to life with any colour. Now, I'm going to colour it. So the trick with vellum, because it's not a porous surface, the ink will kind of, I'm going to use alcohol markers, which are our Stampin blends. The ink will kind of move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on the reverse of this, okay? So you'll see what sort of effect this gives us. I'm going to add my light colour to those leaves, just to the background of those leaves. And you get a really, really subtle look. So can you just see that? It just lifts it slightly, but you can blend. You just have to be quite subtle with it, quite delicate. And these alcohol markers won't blend the way that they would normally blend. You get almost like a watercolour look. Blending those two lines together. So now when I turn that over, you get, can you see that? How pretty is that look? I really love this. So I'm going to colour all of these leaves. Just going to go over with the I think I did this before with a big yellow flower. This technique anyway. I can't think for the life of me what, I think it was Remarkable You that I used. For anyone that remembers that product. Okay, so we've used our light, very pretty. It is, Anne, isn't it? It's really delicate. Love this effect. So not only are we coming to the end of February, it's the end of celebration and the end of my creative prompt challenge that I've been running on social media, which I've really enjoyed. It's been great to inspire people and it's been great to kind of have a different focus to my crafting. But I'm kind of looking forward to it being done. I found it a bit kind of restrictive towards the end. But I'm sure I will do another one at some point. Okay, so I'm just going over now with that light one to just try and blur the line between those two colours that I've used. Okay, so now when we turn that over and we put it on our white, it's all got that lovely subtle colour to it. So I'm going to bring in my card. I'm going to use a little bit of soft sea foam for my card base. And I'm going to do, let's do a 10th fold. I do like 10 folds. And then I want a layer of white. So I'm just going to do a layer of white that's 10 centimetres wide. And then we will go down to 13.4 centimetres. So I'll have a couple of little layers showing there. Bring back in our card base. We've got our lovely white layer, and then we've got our vellum over the top. I think that's so pretty. I kind of don't want to do anything else to it, but I will, because that isn't a card right now. Well, it is a card, but I need to do something more to it. So let's stick this on. And then our vellum. Now, to attach this vellum, you can use little dots of Tombow, the wet glue. Now, I wouldn't put that Tombow on your stamped, your coloured pieces. Okay, Tombow will dry clear, so you won't see it once it's dried. But if you put it on your coloured pieces, coloured bits, then it will actually just change. You will see it, it will kind of distort that lovely colouring. Oops. Siri is talking to me. Siri, I don't want to talk to you today, thank you. I wonder what that was about. So just added a few real delicate dots. And then just push that down into place. So already you can't see that Tombow. You can't see it at all behind. Okay, now what do we do now with this? So I have got here the Tasteful label dies, and I just want to create a little label, and I think I'm going to go with this one. So I will die cut that out. Got lots of things today. Didn't tidy up after myself last night. Tut tut. We have our little label, and I want a sentiment. Now the sentiments in here are quite small, so I'm going to choose this one, I think. Let's see what we've got. So this says, "You are simply wonderful," which fits on there just about. Okay, now do I do it in the black with the white? Or do I stamp it on there? What do we think? I'm kind of leaning towards the black and the white. Let me know what you think. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp. What are we going to do? We want the outline again, don't we? So let's heat emboss that lovely outline onto here. A little bit of Whisper White. So where's my first mark? Here it is. Black and white. I thought that as well, and I think it will really make it come alive. Okay, so we've got a little bit of Versamark there. Some embossing powder. Oh, you're all leaning towards black and white today. So add a little bit of embossing powder to our stamping. So we now have that little bit, oh, I've missed a piece, a little bit of embossing over here. Now, because that is raised, I'm going to add my ink over the top of that, and I'm going to use a dauber to do that. So I've got a soft seafoam ink pad and a dauber. Daubers are great for changing the way, kind of adding a bit of distressing look, but it's also great for colouring, and because we've got that real subtle colouring going on, I wanted to do the same with this. Now I can't stamp because of the raised embossing, but we can use this. So already that's starting to look very similar. And then I want a little bit of hair pizzazz. See if we can add a little bit of tone on this. And we can. It's just being quite delicate. I could have coloured it, but I think I would have got a real contrast of colour with the stamping blends because I'm colouring on the white cardstock, and I didn't really want that. So now we've got our little leaf, we're going to cut that out. I could of course have stamped this on the vellum, but I didn't want to take anything away from the background. I quite like cutting around embossing. Morning to you, Wendy. Thanks for joining us this morning. So it looks like Boris has started to announce some of his lockdown exit ideas, which looks like it's starting with schools returning on the 8th of March, which I'm not quite sure how I feel about. I feel a bit excited for my daughter because she's desperate to go back to school, but I do feel a bit apprehensive. My youngest went back to nursery this morning, little Emily. She was so excited to get back. Apparently she practically skipped through the door, and she was up even earlier than she normally is. Okay, so let's just clear this down. Oh, I like it. So it's a little bit different in colour, but I think it goes in quite nicely with that background. Just want to try something, 2 seconds. So if I've got a little dauber and I want to add a bit of colour, yeah, see, actually it's too dark, so let's leave that to one side. Okay, so next we're going to stamp our little sentiment, and we've decided we're going to emboss that onto black cardstock. Josh is doing his first live lesson. Oh, what is he learning about today? What lesson is he starting his new term off with, Baz? yeah, a bit apprehensive of him going back. I agree with you guys. I do feel a bit worried. Lockdown has just taught me, I think, to be permanently worried. Oops, oops, oops. Yeah, I just feel worried all the time. I worry about going out. I worry about my parents. I worry about the girls. I just worry about everything. Let's heat that now. All set nicely, and we want to add this to our card. So I'm going to use my trimmer to cut this. That top line isn't straight. Whenever your piece of card is too wide to hold on to, I always just, of course, use a bit of washi tape to hold that in place. I think that's going to cut the L off. Let's try that there. Nope, still going to cut the L off. On that line and see what happens. Yeah, that's better. Trim that down. Okay. Now we have two things that we can do to this now. We can either pop that on at the bottom and then with our leaves, or we can add it to our banner. Let's put the banner on. I quite like the banner. That's a good tip about washi tape. I use washi tape for everything, Baz, I promise you. Always using washi tape. Even the girls are obsessed with it as well. So let's put that about there so that it overhangs. And then let's cut this banner down. I'm going to cut that at an angle. Trim that down a bit more. That's better. Okay, stick that on. I've never been a bubble wrap mum, but this past year makes me worry about all of us, not just family and friends. Yeah, mental health definitely. Florence has shown some real signs of just not knowing how to deal with what she's going through, and it's really worrying. Let's put that in there, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. So let's put a little bit of wet glue on this leaf, if I can get it to work. I don't want to squeeze. There we are. It's coming out now. Okay, so that was going in there like so. Okay. So there we have our lovely card front this morning. I just need to do the inside. And bring my Whisper White, basic white back in. And we'll do 13.9 by 9.5. Florence has actually got a really lovely day at school today. The school have arranged for each child to receive a bear, a little teddy bear, and their first day back today is all about this teddy bear. She had to take it to her Teams call this morning. She's got to read it a story. She's got to have a teddy bear picnic lunch. And I can't think of what else she's got to do. But there's all these different activities all set around this bear. She's so excited. Children see rules in black and white, then wonder what adults don't follow. Yeah, that is so true, Baz. I think if a lot of adults had approached this like children, we would be in a very, very different place right now. So I'm going to leave that plain, and I'm actually not going to put anything on the inside, which I know isn't usually like me, but I don't want to do any more of this embossing. And I don't really want to put anything in black in the middle either. So I'm going to leave that as it is. So we'll just do a little recap. I've used the Touch of Ink stamp set, which is free when you spend £90 until the end of February. So just 6 more days left of that promotion. And I have actually heat embossed onto vellum, and I've used white Stampin' embossed powder for that. And then onto the back of that vellum, I've coloured it in with my Stampin' blends. And I really like the way that ink settles on that vellum. And then we've got a simple label from the Tasteful label dies, and then I've got this strip of black with white embossing again, and that sentiment comes from the Bloom and Grow stamp set, this one here. Okay, so that's it for me today. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined and chatted along with me. We will see what Boris says this evening, see what he has to say. I think 7 o'clock he's going live. He's going to address the nation, so we'll see what he has to say. And I'll next be live on Wednesday evening at 8:30 in the evening. So if you can join me, I'd love to have you here. If not, you can always catch me on the replay. So have a great few days, guys, and look after yourselves. Take care. Bye.